What is going on? I'm Zedmon. It is Monday morning, and that means Warships Season 23, 23. That's like two languages mixed together right there, I think, just to cover a wider range of my audience. Anyways, what we're going to do quickly here is pick up some of these chests, and then I'm going to show you the optimal, most amazing, best way to take Season 23 by the horns and kick its buttocks. Now, we're going to get these chests. This is the second account that I will be playing. I always play a first account, get all my chests, and then come back and tell you guys what is working. I also have the help of some very helpful people. Mackett, who tends to be in the top 1 or 2 in New Zealand, Mr. Orion, Ali, a bunch of other great players. Hugo, I believe, as well. I was going to say Hugh, but I believe it's Hugo. Anyways, lots and lots of super awesome players at my disposal. We are going to have a look quickly at the tech tree. Thank you for your patience. I know I didn't make a sneak peek. It was my daughter's birthday over the weekend. First of all, upgrading those landing crafts, always top priority. And now, last season, hopefully you haven't blocked it out of your mind. If you did, we definitely want to go get troop health and max that out as quickly as we possibly can. Then we're going to skip everything else. Don't care about Zukas, don't care about anything but getting to that next engine room. So we are going to turn on Do Not Disturb since we just got the YouTube comment coming in. Gunboat does not matter yet. The only time we need gunboat is like if we go get shocks, and spoiler alert, we're not going to get shocks. So next up, we're going to upgrade our mines to max. Always mines to max. We're going to get our flamethrowers up to tick 4. That gives us the most buildings. We're going to get our machine guns up to tick 4. That's going to give us some more buildings. Now, I went for flamethrowers. Flamethrowers do more damage per second against both heavies and warriors. Don't forget to upgrade your flares. I went to tick 4. That seems to be reasonable. And then we're just going to move on to more engine rooms. And the reason for that is I am going all the way over here, and we are going to get heavies. Heavies, super duper important. Skip the warriors, skip the Zukas, skip all the noise, and just go straight into heavies. At this point, we are going to keep going down the path. I think let's just... video cut out there for a second. Bad connections. Oh, I hate connections. Physical level stuff annoys the... Anyways, we're going to get our mortars up to tick 4. More defenses, not a bad idea. Also, sniper towers up to tick 4. Cruising along. Getting into here, we are going to go through, I think 2 sniper towers, probably better than 2 mortars. I will just make that jump just because. Now, as you could guess, my next move is going to be into boom cannons, and then suddenly look at this, troop damage, building damage, all sorts of good stuff. So ignore the noise, don't go get smoke, don't go get shocks or shock mines, just cruise as fast as possible into 4 engine rooms. That is the basic theory at the moment. I am going to spread my engine rooms out as far as I possibly can. Don't be one of those people who puts 3 engine rooms back here, because you will lose, and lose consistently. That might change later on in the season, but for right now, please don't do that. I have seen so many bases that I have taken down in 3 minutes or less, all because they do silly things like that. Now, I'm going to try and put my sniper towers sort of central just to keep picking off defenses, keep picking off offenses, I should say. And then we're going to load up our engine rooms with some flamethrowers. Now, realistically, I've got enough tokens here that I'm going to upgrade my machine guns and my flamethrowers to max at this point. That might be a bad move because we definitely want max troop damage, max building damage, but not going to put any tokens into medkit, so we can skip those for now. As far as building a base goes, most people are going to go from here to here, here to here to here to here. So we're going to set all of our mines up along that right-hand side once we get all of these buildings out. I wish there was like a stock thing for each HQ level, because I hate building bases early in the season. I just want to get going. Every second that's ticking here, because I'm in a Western time zone, means that I am losing chests, essentially. So now that that's done, I'm going to put one right about here somewhere. We're going to put our mortars. I personally like putting my mortars in 3-packs. I find that does great damage, because against heavies or even warriors, one mortar off on its own not gonna do great. We are going to put all of our mines in groups of 6 if possible. I really, again, like putting mines in groups of 6 or 4. I find that they do all sorts of damage that way. And then we are going to do the same thing right... you don't want to do them too close to shore, because then people can simply avoid them. But along these walls, 1, 2, 3, make people go around them. That is going to add seconds to their attack. And if they don't go around them, it's going to add death to their heavies. Or warriors, I suppose. But hopefully you have watched this video and you're using heavies. My other account is at 75% wins right now. Just absolutely cruising. We are going to go 1, 2, 3... and we are done with the mine. So a smart person would probably go from here to here. Most people are going to go from here to here. I think this mine, these mines right here, probably too low. But actually, you know what? That might be a good idea, just in case people go left first. At that point, we are ready to load up our heavies. And for those of you who don't have instant training, this is going to be the fantastic season, because your troops are all going to live for the most part, and then just dropping our heavies and then waiting as long as we can. As soon as they start to head out, we're going to hit that flare. Just trying to make sure we can keep our flare alive is good practice, but at the same point, it's also ridiculous, because let's be honest, we have more gunboat energy than we ever will need. I think I finished my last battle and had 70 gunboat energy or something like that. This heavy rush is going to get old very soon, but for right now it's working incredibly well, and so we're going to keep cruising on through. And it's going to pay off. Get into 4 engine rooms as fast as you possibly can. And if you're wondering why I went along that left wall, I managed to skip a couple mines, and then we're going to get all of our heavies on that back engine room first, because that way all they have to do is kind of pivot, and they'll be on top of this engine room right here. I really do like to do that sort of maneuver by going for the far engine room first. If you go for the close one, they have to move twice, and that is no bueno, just to mix in more of my beautiful linguistic skills. So first attack of the day, first attack of the season. I think we've... Whoa, that was quick, those 2 engine rooms going on at the same time. Managed to pull off a win. That was a very quick time for them. My base clearly not set up well. Let's quickly see what the heck they're doing. I'm guessing they're using heavies as well. Let's just have a quick... Oh, heavy Zuka. That is kind of impressive. Did not expect those kind of times coming out of heavy Zuka, but they've also got Zukas and shocks. So in the next couple days, we are going to be way ahead of them. Not super duper concerned about that. So, building on that, I'm going to move these 3 mines somewhere into here, just trying to catch some form of Zuka. You know what, let's just put them in no man's land right about here. Probably dumb, but having mines in the middle of nowhere maybe makes someone think and puzzled and all of those sorts of things. So now, same sort of thing on this attack. We are going to just use ground flares. Don't need to go near any of those mines. We're going to flare right about there. That should get all of our heavies to bypass all of these mines at the front. These people are likely set up to stop some form of Zukas. I'm guessing heavy Zuka is prevalent this season. We are going to be skipping that strategy and then just coming straight in with our heavy rush. Heavies are just so strong. It is ridiculous how much abuse they can take. So now that engine room number 1's down, our flare is going to be in the air. The number of times I have won already this season by throwing my flare nice and early has made a huge difference. So it's a bit of a gamble. As soon as that engine room gets down to about 10-15%, throw your next flare and boom, shakalaka, just like that, picking up some early victories. I love finishing people's bases, and they haven't even gotten a single engine room. So let's quickly spectate. And again, more heavy Zuka coming in. Just, I love every person I face that has heavy Zuka. Just makes me happy, because it knows that they have spent a bunch of tokens. And I don't believe Zukas are going to be useful later on. Let's quickly jump ahead and look at the 4 engine room level. So once we get into 4 engine rooms, there's even more building health. And then we get some boom mines and some shock launchers. Don't really get any interesting troops quite yet. But that heavy rush is going to last for a long, long time because we'll also have artillery coming up. Kavan is right in the middle of our path. That is why I'm going to skip over Sparky. We've already skipped over Brick, I believe. Where the heck is Brick? Brick is... Holy brain shutting down. Have not had coffee yet this morning. Brick's right there. Okay, we're going to skip Brick. We're just going all the way. Kavan is basically a free hero, so no need to deviate off our standard path. This is kind of interesting. Do I want to... I'm just going to skip all of those mines, and we'll just bypass all of this stuff and go straight for that engine room, throwing the flare nice and early so our troops don't waste time walking off to the right-hand side into those flags. And now, once more, throwing that ground flare out there, hoping to miss to at least one... We missed one mine, 2 mines, 3 mines. So ground flares are super duper helpful with heavies. We are getting murdered by all of this person's flamethrowers. Need to throw that flare very, very early. I don't think we're going to get all these engine rooms down. If we do, frankly, I'm going to be amazed. Don't call me frankly. And now we're going to try to skip some of those mines, try to get away from some of those flamethrowers. I really, really don't think it's going to work. So we're just going to have to throw that flare out there as early as we can, hoping, and this is where the danger comes in, Heavy Zuka is likely going to be nice and safe and sound and walk past all our defenses, but we've finally had our first fizzle of the season. So we're going to retreat nice and early, go see what our Tart 60's doing. They have smoke. Smoke is so intriguing to me. I want to get smoke. I also want to get shock mines. This season is doing a great job of trying to make you impulse buy. Resist, resist, resist. Lose early in the season. It's going to pay off. We've got our first chest. Our timer is finally going. And when I'm talking about impulse buying, like smoke, everyone loves playing with smoke. Cannons are super duper helpful. Shock mines, awesome. Shock bombs, awesome. Brick, also good. I'm going to be just doing scrimping and saving and not getting those things, though. For me, it is about troop damage, building damage, and there's just so many good things if we manage to keep our spending habits put away. So we are going to get into some more battles, but I'm going to do that after a bit of a internet sneaky pause because it is still early here. I'm going to have a cup of coffee, then we'll come back and keep on battling. Okay, we're back. I've got coffee. We've got all sorts of heavies and a mediocre base. Just need to keep moving, get a few more chests. Gotta say, once you get troop damage and some building damage, it is so good. Now, we're going to flare all the way back to here. Why I use a ground flare on this, I don't really know. We should be able to bypass maybe 3 mines, something like that. Every single mine you can bypass just means that your heavies are going to be healthier and happier and cruising on in. Probably not going to bypass any because I flared a little bit too early. This is probably not a great path at all, to be completely honest, but thankfully this person has put all 3 of their engine rooms in one spot, so we are going to get that flare out nice and early, almost too early. But it's so worthwhile and so satisfying to have that flare land. See, like we've had like a 1 second delay, maybe 2 second delay, and every second that your heavies are standing around, that are just taking damage. And as you can see there, we're starting to get into the red with a bunch of them, but 3 minutes, 5 seconds. Lesson number 16, don't put 3 engine rooms across that back wall. You're just lining it up nice and easy for people. Now, if people have, maybe with Heavy Zuka, that is a nice way to slow people down, but people who are using all heavies, or even warriors, I doubt anyone's going to be using warriors, but maybe, just maybe, warriors are a meta to be reckoned with, but I think there's just too many defenses for that. Cruising on up. We are winning and winning and 75%. See, on my other account, I'm at 75%, sitting in the middle of 13 ISO or so, I think. But we should be able to just keep winning and winning until other people clue into our strategy. And even if we're not winning, really doesn't matter because our tech tree is going to pay off. You can always go back and get things, but you can't unbuy things. And that is why every single season, for the most part anyways, I've preached the whole naked, rushed base. If we can get to 4 engine rooms nice and early, we are going to crush people's hopes and dreams. Now, right about now, watching your heavies walk through all these buildings, this is just hideous to me. I would love to have shocks. I would love to have smoke. And I'm just seeing only that one little icon in that bottom right corner, only having flares. Just, I hate it. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Now, on a base like this, if you flare into that back corner, you can end up having like 2 heavies finish off the base. We don't need that though, so I'm going to flare on that engine room. Should have more than enough heavies to finish this off. But I have won at least one battle this season just by flaring into that back corner and having 2 heavies take down that final engine room. So things are going to get harder with our heavies as people get more defenses, as people get that defensive building damage. But this season so far is fairly decently balanced offense to defense as we move up into 13. So, and when I say balanced offense to defense, we've got troop health. That is so critical. Last season was missing that. That was a huge problem for so many people. But we get troop damage, then they get building damage. Speaking of getting troop damage, right in there, look at this. Now, you can see I don't have troop damage max. That's because I spent a whole bunch on things like boom cannons, which I don't necessarily recommend. I just like to spend willy-nilly. Do make sure you go, actually, I think I've actually missed a chest just now, maybe, just maybe. Now, one other thing you can do here is drop 1 boat of heavies early, and then drop the rest. And that seems super duper simple, but so many people miss it. And then watch this. We're just going to have all of those heavies clear all of those mines. That like 1 heavy at the front, as long as we can get past those boom cannons, should be able to clear all of those mines using our front heavies, which is going to work out extremely, extremely well for us as I flare back and forth and side to side. Now, I have no idea which way's faster. If we should have gone up that right wall and then come left, but I see so many people go right, left, and so I'm going to go right, left, right. Just trying to be the contrarian. Don't know if it's going to pay off or not. We're going to get that flare in the air. There's a song there, something about, yeah. Anyways, keeping on running. There is nothing sexy about the all-heavy rush. I will fully admit we can't do anything over the top awesome because we don't have shocks or flares. I mean, shocks or smoke or anything like that, and it's frustrating me to no end, as you could probably guess. 257 is pretty quick. 259 is the standard, gold standard for the 3 zigzag base, so I think I might have gone the wrong way. Probably should have gone right, left, but we'll see. 3 minutes, 7 seconds. I'm going to guess they're using warriors. Let's have a look, because that is shockingly fast. Let's have a quick look here. Brick. There is the answer right there. So definitely, that is impressively good, and that just makes me want to go get brick, but I am going to hold off on brick for now, because I think that those... Like, let's just have a look over here and see how expensive brick is. Brick is 42 keys. We are not going to spend those 42 keys because it would make us not get into this defensive building damage, and we definitely want to get in. And like I said, this season, so many good tempting things trying to make you deviate from your path. Don't deviate. You will regret it. We're going to get all of our troops going. We're going to get that flare nice and early. This person has shock mines. Shock mines are a pain in the butt, but we should be able to avoid most of them. As you can see right in there, these shock mines are set up for other troops besides heavies, so we should be able to just cruise on past. Now on this one, we are definitely going to go right, left, right. Don't know why I keep calling it the right, left, right zigzaggy pattern. And the beautiful thing about heavies is you don't need all of them to succeed. So we're just going to get these guys flared in here. But you can see how long those shock mines last for. That is painfully long times. So now we're going to come back into here, trying to get some of our heavies into that engine room right now, and hoping that we don't get stuck on all of the shock mines. I think if we go right up about here, actually, we can avoid hitting that one shock mine, and then coming on in, using those ground flares to get onto that engine room. We do not have a lot of heavies left. Are we going to have our second fizzle against the shock mines? So last battle we lost against brick, and brick made us want to deviate off our path. This battle we are going to swipe and fizzle against shock mines once more, trying to pull us off our path. Did they just retreat? No, we retreated. Sorry, I scouted too soon, so it made it look like I retreated. Just a little bug in the UI, and I think they are going to have us unless we manage to get some random damage from our heavies attacking things around. And look at that. See that one building right in there? Come on, Arkman, you're killing me here. Just retreat. Like, just maybe they didn't see me retreat, so they're trying to be tricky or something like that, but don't be an Arkman. Like, it's just not cool. We're going to pause right here as we hang out and wait for Gomer to retreat. Okay, finally retreated. Let's just see. We lost. Not overly surprising. With Heavy Rush, if you don't think you're going to get that last engine room, you can just kind of hang out and do a bunch of damage around. I did not do that. I thought we could get all three. But I also did not notice the shock mines until it was too late. So at this point, I've already laid out the entire tech tree. Hopefully that helps you get as far as you can possibly get. And now, just a couple obvious details in warships. Don't sit at 4 out of 4 chests because you are just wasting time. Everyone in a Western time zone knows how terrible our time zone is. So get those attacks in as early as you possibly can. And 3 engine rooms is not going to be any easier. Like even like 10 minutes from now, when you're watching this video, get some attacks going. Put me on in the background because as time passes, 2 engine rooms gets harder, 3 engine room gets harder. Every single meta that worked right now is probably not going to work 12, 24 hours from now. So rather than, if you can manage to push early on in the season, do it. That's why I am attacking right now. We're going to get all 4 of my chests, hopefully move up as far as we possibly can, and hopefully not fizzle. As you can see right here, we're starting to get close to fizzling, and it's only day 1. So in about a week's time, 3 engine rooms is going to be crazy because we skipped over a whole bunch of stuff. Let's see how we did against Dirk Nowitzki playing Boom Beach. Who would have known? Tie. I'm okay with that. Ties are great because it means you're getting your chests. Now, like I said, I skipped over stuff. I don't have cannons. I don't have maxed mortars. I don't have shocks. I don't have shock mines. I don't have brick. So 3 engine rooms is going to be crazy. Get the heck out of it. Get to 4 engine rooms as fast as you possibly can. Let's try to get there. We're not going to get there in this video for certain. Now, if once your base starts to stand up a little bit, you can like start to say take out that machine gun and then go get the engine room. If you start to fizzle a little bit more often, like what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to take out that machine gun. That way it's not going to bother us. And as soon as that's gone, we can flare onto that engine room. Just going to hopefully get some of the damage removed. Also going to do some extra damage to their base. Because if it comes down to a fizzle versus a fizzle, we're going to have a little bit extra damage, as you saw by that previous person. I think it was Arkman, the person who completely and utterly refused to retreat. Don't be an Arkman. Those people are annoying, and it's just not good sportsmanship. Let's be honest here. So chances of me taking down that next engine room are essentially nil. So I'm going to hang out here, do a little bit extra damage. You see how dead all of our heavies are? Every single little bit of extra damage we're going to do is going to help us in the event that our base can stand up. Chances of our base standing up, very slim. This is not going well. So on my other account, I attacked about like 2-3 hours earlier, and I crushed it. And I've already lost more on this base than I did on that one. Look at that. They're going clockwise. That's the first time someone's done that. Makes perfect sense based on my mine situation. So this base definitely needs some improvements. Probably need to move some flamethrowers closer. Also need to move that into here. We are going to do some minor improvements. Mortars there. That looks reasonable. Machine gun going to move you slightly closer into here. And again, I don't spend a lot of time on bases. I tend to try and win with offense. And speaking of offense, the exact opposite of offense, I'm not going to be maxing my medkit. Maybe come back and do medkits, but for right now, we are focused on getting that building damage, getting all of the stuff back here maxed. We've got our flamethrowers, we've got our machine guns. Sniper towers probably going to be next on my list. And if you're wondering why I put those only to 4 ticks, because that is the max number of buildings you can get, and the max number of buildings is ideal. I'm kind of tempted to go counterclockwise just for something to do, That'll bypass at least 3. You know what? We're going to do exactly that. We're going to go completely and utterly counterclockwise just to see how well this is going to work, because that's going to allow us to bypass 3 flamethrowers. You know what? We're going to use an extra flare to get the heck out of there. That's going to allow us to bypass 3 flamethrowers, 2 machine guns, and then we can come right into back here. I don't think this is a good idea. This is the exact opposite of a good idea, but hey, it worked for the last person, so we might as well give it a shot just to see whereabouts our time's going to be. I am not feeling like this is a great idea at all. We're going to throw a med kit right on top of there, and if you just heard me say not to upgrade your med kits, well, you can still use them because we have nothing else to spend our gunboat energy on. As you've seen, every other battle, we've had like 50 flares towards the end. So using a couple med kits, not a terrible idea. I used too many, though, as you can see by the fact that I can't throw my flares until too late. So now we are stuck waiting for that engine room to go down before we can throw our final flare, and I don't like being in that position. Speaking of positions, though, look at that. We are wrapped around that machine gun, 256. So we're only 3 seconds slower than going from front to back. That's kind of impressive, to be honest. So do consider going way around rather than coming in like I've been doing. I love making experiments like that early on in the season. Don't do those experiments after you start losing. Do it right now before you get into that situation, because there's nothing worse than being on a losing streak and having to try out new strategies, because it's only going to be super duper frustrating for you and it's not going to go super well. Squiggles coming in here and just being super careful, and you're going to find that with a lot of people with heavy Zuka. They're just going to count on their base to give them the win, and we don't want to do that. There's nothing worse than fizzling. I hate fizzling, and as someone who likes playing with Seekers, I am very familiar with fizzling. Okay, almost got that final chest, almost finished the video. Do let me know what you think about these slightly longer videos, because I am always looking for your feedback. Like to make these videos as user-friendly as possible, and the general feedback is a lot of you like longer videos. I try to get as much front-loaded as possible so that you don't need to watch any longer than you want to. If you've ever watched my Mega Crab sneak peeks, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Give you all the information you could ever need. Also, do make sure you read my descriptions. I try to make as much info in the descriptions just in case you don't have time to watch the video as well. Again, just trying to do all of the things that I like to see from other YouTubers, other content creators, because there's nothing worse than being stuck watching till the end or getting that clickbait title that says, oh, you need to unlock this quickly or whatever, and then you just tell us what it is. That's all we want to know. Just tell us what it is, show us how it's good, and then we can choose for ourselves. And now we're going to get our last flare. We're not going to go with the last flare. This person's shock mines are absolutely ruining us, so we're just going to throw medkits out there, hope we can get a little bit extra damage, then we're going to retreat. Those, and you can see right there how awful 3 engine rooms are going to be. Like 3 engine rooms just getting super duper strong. Probably want to move those mines out because I have not seen many people heavy rushing. Maybe heavy rush is not sustainable long term, but for now, that is how I'm going to be picking up my chests. So many squiggles at the moment. I'm not sure if that is that there's a huge amount of Chinese and Korean and whatnot players playing right now, or if it just happens to be the rank that I'm sitting at. Time zones are a weird and wonderful thing. I think this is going to be our last battle. As long as I don't... Yeah, thankfully this is going to be our last battle. Here we go. So we're going to go up the right-hand side. Going clockwise does not make sense on this base because everything is just so spread out. This person, I'm willing to bet, I would bet you 16 cents that this person is a heavy Zuka player, because look how wide their mines are set out. Look how wide their defenses are set out. So we're just going to throw a med kit right there, waiting for that final engine room to go down. First engine room, final engine room, you know what I'm saying. And then, should have got rid of that machine, that flamethrower. Would have saved us a bunch of damage on our walk, but I am not the right person for that, clearly making all sorts of mistakes. I am caffeinated, but I am also stressed this morning. Monday mornings are not the ideal mornings for warships. I would love it if we could have like a weekday crab and then a weekend start to the warship season or something like that, because every Monday morning is just not good for me, and the idea of staying up Sunday night for a warship start is just painful. So let me know in the comments if you would like to see a weekday crab, weekend warship start. I think that would just be so good. But 3 minutes, 2 seconds should be able to end this video on a win, which is the important part. You can see, remember we said, I bet we're going to be heavy Zuka players, so don't build your base against your troops, build your base against all sets of troops. We're going to pick up the win against the longest Squiggles name in the history of Squiggles names. We're going to pick up our last chest, and that gives us somewhere in the neighborhood of, what is that, 30 hours before we have to attack again. So nice, easy, calm, relaxing morning. And look at that, jumping into building damage, and we can get that building damage boosted. Like I said, I wasted some upgrades back here on the left-hand side. Would like to be able to max that building damage, but people are going to start fizzling more and more against my base, which means I can start taking my time. Don't go get brick, don't go get shock mines, don't get cannons, don't get shock bombs, don't get smoke. Those are a lot of amazing things that I'm telling you not to do, or do go get them. Obviously, warships is very person-centric. If you want to stay at 2 engine rooms, if you want to stay at 3 engine rooms, it all depends what kind of gameplay you're at, what HQ level you're at. But basically, everyone can get into 4 engine rooms. Look at that, you only have to be HQ level 12, so don't worry about this stuff on the left. It's there to tempt you. Ignore its siren call, and I shall talk to you soon. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you thought about this warships video. Let me know if you're playing, how you did on crab, all that good stuff. I shall talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. I'm Zedmot. Peace.